Hello everyone, I'm back. After a long time of you guys requesting content about Ultraman. And now, let's tear into this super compilation of Ultras from every series from the past to the present. A quick note, these are the familiar sentimental letters before every Toku video so you can enjoy the video as fully as possible. The criteria for the Ultra Warriors appearing in this video are the main Ultras, or simply put, the lead warriors of a series. Secondary warriors, second Ultras, or those from movies will appear in a different video.
1. Ultraman, 1966. First, we have the original of all Ultramen with the very simple name, just Ultraman, who first appeared in the first series in 1966. And do you know what that means? That's right. Ultraman has origins even older than the other two famous Toku lines, Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. Because in these early days, the shaping of the vast world of Ultraman wasn't shown too clearly through the show, but I will use resources from later installments to retell the origin of Ultraman as follows. About 270,000 Earth years ago, the nebula M78 was a planet with life and technology like present-day Earth. The species there was similar to humans. But one day, the sun of planet M78 exploded. Scientists tried to create an artificial sun to replace it, called the plasma spark. But the power from it accidentally mutated the human race there into powerful Ultramen, or rather, Guardians of Light. Holding such immense power, they decided to use it to protect the universe. Most Ultramen later on originate from here, so I'm telling you now so you won't be confused. Back to the first Ultraman, this guy was chasing a kaiju that escaped while being escorted back to M78. During that process, these two drifted to Earth. Ultraman collided with the VTOL jet of human Shin Hayata at Lake Ryugamori, killing Hayata. Out of guilt, he shared his life force with Hayata, allowing him to live again, and both of them protected the Earth against the kaiju threat together. Later, Ultraman Zafy arrived to provide support, separating Ultraman and Hayata. Hayata forgot he was ever a warrior of light, and Ultraman followed Zafy back to M78. Regarding the transformation mechanism, this is also the foundation for the iconic nature of the franchise. It involves the human forms raising an object into the sky to turn into Ultra forms. In the 1966 version, to transform into a giant, Shin Hayata used a device called the Beta Capsule. However, there is an extremely famous meme from episode 34. In an emergency when the monster Skydon attacked, Hayata, who was in the middle of eating curry rice, rushed out and grabbed his curry spoon to raise to the sky instead of the Beta Capsule. Regarding power, Ultraman is 40 meters tall and weighs 35,000 tons. His combat ability is a balance between physical strength and energy-based attacks. Since special effects weren't developed at this time, fist fighting was the main method. Additionally, Ultraman has a finishing move called the Spacium Beam. This is the legendary cross-shaped arm pose attack that has existed until now. As for the design, I won't analyze it much because truthfully, he is the prototype for all subsequent designs, so whether it's ugly or beautiful depends on your taste. But there is a fact that throughout 39 episodes, this suit was modified 3 times, called Type A, B, and C.
2. Ultraseven, 1967. Following the success of Ultraman, Ultraseven, or 7 for short, first appeared in the series of the same name in 1967. The work is said to have been born as a breath of fresh air with a tendency to explore characters rather than just usual fighting scenes. Also coming from Nebula M78, the Land of Light, 7's starting point was not a warrior of the space garrison specializing in hunting monsters. Initially, he was a universal observer. During that journey, 7 conveniently stopped by Earth for a bit. Captivated by the natural beauty here, he decided to stay and protect the globe from Kaiju. The breakthrough in 7's plot lies in his human form, completely different from Ultraman, who had to live symbiotically with Shin Hayata. 7's human form, Dan Moriboshi, is not real but is a human form that 7 transformed into himself to operate on Earth and join the Ultra Garrison. In terms of design, Ultraseven is strongly inspired by medieval Western armored warriors combined with ancient Mayan culture. This is clearly shown through the chest and shoulders shaped like sturdy armor plates, giving him a muscular and combative look. An extremely important detail compared to Ultraman is that Seven does not have a color timer, the light that signals when to stop transforming, on the chest. His energy signal part is the beam lamp located compactly on his forehead. An interesting fact about the color is that initially the director intended to design Seven in silver and blue, but due to technical limitations of the blue screen technology at the time, the color was changed to red. Note that at this time, Ultra ranks were not yet classified by armor color. The blue armor detail was later passed down to Seven's son Zero. I will tell you more about that below. The human form, Dan Moriboshi, usually transforms into Seven by putting the Ultra Eye on his eyes. His most iconic weapon is the Eye Slugger. The fin on top of his head can be detached to become a dagger or thrown like a boomerang. Besides techniques like the Emirium beam, fired from the forehead, or the wide shot fired in an L-shaped hand pose, Seven also possesses the ability to summon a number of kaiju he subdued via capsule monsters to support him in battle. Regarding meaning and legacy, as I mentioned, the Ultraseven series is considered to have a much darker and more mature tone than its predecessor. Additionally, Seven is also one of the high-ranking commanders self-proclaimed as the Ultra Brothers, including Ultraman, Zophie, Seven, and 3 others who will be introduced in the next 3 series.
3. Return of Ultraman, Ultraman Jack, 1971. As I mentioned regarding the Ultra Brothers, the series Return of Ultraman serves as a bridge to link the 2 previous movies. When the show was released in 1971, it marked the return of Ultraman after 5 years of peace. The warrior introduced this time was initially just called the New Ultra, who came to Earth under Zophie's orders. Like his predecessor, he witnessed an act of extreme bravery. A young racer named Hideki Go sacrificed his life to save a boy and a dog from a collapsing building. Moved by that altruism, this new Ultraman merged with Go to revive him and grant him fighting power. Regarding design, even a kid like me can clearly see it's a recycling of the 1966 Ultraman suit, but it turned out to be an intention of the producer, because initially this character was intended to be the actual 1966 Ultraman returning. However, the toy sponsor for the series, Bullmark, demanded Tsuburaya change the design enough to be considered a new character. So the producers were lazy enough to add a thinner outline following the patterns of the old suit, and ta-da! Ultraman Jack was born. But the difference in the suit wasn't big enough, so the scriptwriters tried to change the plot tropes and add many tragic elements to enhance the story. But no, Ultraman Jack's story was still boring as hell. If not for the return of the 3 seniors, I rate this series as not enough to surpass the shadows of Tsuburaya's 2 previous successes. Regarding power, since he is basically a copy of the 1966 Ultraman, Jack possesses similar basic skills like the Spacium Ray and Ultra Slash. However, this series gave birth to an unprecedented concept: power-up items. After Jack was beaten to a pulp and needed to load VIP status, Seven appeared and gave him the Ultra Bracelet. This bracelet can turn into a shield, a spear, or shoot Ultra Spark energy beams. Finally, Jack's biggest legacy lies in the fact that he was never called by his own name in the movie. Throughout 71 episodes of Return of Ultraman, he was never called Jack. He was simply called Ultraman or New Ultraman, Sheen Ultraman. The name Ultraman Jack is a name that didn't appear until the 1980s at Bandai's request to clearly distinguish him from the 1966 original for convenient commercialization and reappearances. This very series is also where the concept of Ultra Brothers appeared for the first time.
4. Ultraman Ace, 1972. Following the success of the previous movie, along with the debut of another hit movie in the toku genre, Kamen Rider, Ultraman Ace officially defined the Ultraman series as a superhero series by starting to clearly divide good and evil factions rather than just supernatural phenomena. Ultraman Ace, released in 1972, tells the story of Earth facing completely new threat levels, far exceeding the old kaiju. Choju, super beasts, biological weapons bred and enhanced, sent from a dimensional anomaly by the hateful entity Yapul. To fight them, the Land of Light sent their literal ace card, Ultraman Ace. Regarding his background, Ace is the adopted son of Father of Ultra and Mother of Ultra after his biological parents sacrificed themselves during a mission. And do you know what being an orphan means? It means this guy is strong as hell. Speaking of power, Ace deserves the nickname Master of Beams. Not that other guy. He possesses a huge arsenal of energy weapons created from light manipulation skills instead of just relying on a finishing beam like his seniors. Ace's signature skill is the Ultra Guillotine or vertical guillotine line of moves, creating energy blades to debone monsters. His main finishing move is the Metallium Beam, fired from an L-shaped pose, short for copying 7. Regarding design, Ace marks a clear evolution compared to his predecessors. His suit is more complex with red patterns running along his body, looking like elaborately crafted armor, showing the role of a professional warrior. On his forehead, there is an energy hole similar to 7's beam lamp called the Ultra Star, used to absorb solar energy or shoot beams. Regarding the human form, for the first time in history, Ace has not one but 2 human hosts, Seiji Hokuto male and Yugo Minami female. When transforming, both must perform the Ultra Touch, and they literally merge into one. I mean merge, not the NSFW stuff you guys are thinking about. Reminding you, it's currently November. Unfortunately, this mechanism was changed midway because the actress playing Yuko Minami left the series. The script was adjusted. Her character was revealed to be one of the last survivors of the Moon civilization, and she was forced to return to her homeland. From episode 28 onwards, Seiji Hokuto became the sole host, alone shouldering Ace's power in the personal war against the Apul.
5. Ultraman Taro, 1973. Having introduced the older brother Ace, we must have the younger brother Taro. Tsuburaya decided to raise the stakes in 1973 with Ultraman Taro. This guy is definitely a Nepo baby. Taro is the biological son of the king, father of Ultra, and the queen, mother of Ultra, born and raised in the land of light. Taro is not a simple warrior. He is the hope of M78, born to be chosen as the 6th member of the Ultra Brothers. Taro's design clearly shows royal status, possessing a height of 53 meters and weighing 55,000 tons. He significantly surpasses his 5 predecessors in size. The design is clearly influenced by Ultraseven, but the most unique identifier is the pair of Ultra horns from the king. With such a lineage, Taro's power is simply badass. He is considered one of the strongest warriors of the Showa era. Taro's signature abilities include the Strium Ray and especially the suicidal move Ultra Dynamite. This is a sacrificial attack where Taro engulfs himself in fire, explodes along with the enemy, and then relies on extraordinary regeneration capabilities to revive. The most illustrious feat proving this power was when he single-handedly defeated Tyrant, a fusion monster that had easily taken down all 5 previous Ultra Brothers. Taro's host in the movie is Kotaro Higashi, a brave young man with the dream of becoming a boxer. During the attack of the monster Astramons, Kotaro sacrificed his life. Mother of Ultra, moved by his courage, brought his soul back to the land of light. Here, in a ceremony witnessed by all 5 Ultra Brothers, Kotaro was revived and merged with Taro, given the Ultra Badge to transform. After looking through Taro's journey, what stuck with me was Taro's terrible power and a story that just flows by. It's not bad, but the main goal seemed to be the official debut of the Prince of Light.
6. Ultraman Leo, 1974. Next is Ultraman Leo. He is the first Ultraman not from M78. Leo is the prince of planet L77 in the Leo constellation. His home was destroyed by alien magma and the Gillis brothers. Leo and his brother Astra were the only survivors, making him a refugee warrior on Earth, where he met Seven. On Earth, Leo takes the form of Gen Otori and is recruited by Dan Moriboshi, Seven, into the Mac team, beginning a training from hell. In Episode 1, Seven was severely injured, broke his leg, and lost the ability to transform. Stuck as a human, Dan became the Mac captain and Leo's mentor. But instead of a gentle teacher, Dan became the ultimate strict, abusive patriarch, pushing Gen to his physical and mental limits. Cue the Jeep scene. Dan knew Leo was the only hope, and feared his immaturity would doom Earth. Since he's not from M78, Leo lacks beam weapons. Instead, he focuses on space martial arts. Fun fact, the lack of beam attacks wasn't an artistic choice, but a result of severe budget cuts. However, Tsuburaya turned this into Leo's defining trait, positioning him as the premier physical fighter. The tone is incredibly dark and violent. Loss is a core theme. The peak of tragedy is Episode 40, where the entire Mac team, except Gen, is brutally massacred by Silverbloom. Leo lost his teammates, friends, and second home.
From those ashes, Leo rose to become one of the universe's most resilient warriors. Years later, he passed on this brutal training to Seven's son Zero. Like father, like son.
7. Ultraman Jonius, anime. Due to the budget issues mentioned above, in 1979, Tsuburaya tried an anime format, The Ultraman, starring Ultraman Jonius. Jonius broke the mold by coming from planet U40, not M78. He is the strongest warrior of his world. U40 residents look like humans and transform into Ultras using technology, unlike M78 residents who are permanently mutated. On Earth, Jonius merged with Choichiro Hikari of the Science Guard Party. As an anime character, Jonius has a unique design with a star on his forehead and chest, color timer. The anime format allowed for cheat-level stats impossible in live action. He is 70 meters tall. His finisher is the Planium Beam. This was the last self-produced Ultraman anime by Tsuburaya, as they realized the limitations of the medium for their brand at the time.
8. Ultraman 80, 1980. To mark the closing of the Golden Showa era on television, Ultraman 80 debuted in 1980 with one of the most ambitious premises in franchise history. This time, the threat of Kaiju was posited as originating from humans. Specifically, negative human energy creates Kaiju. But that sounds too much like Super Sentai. To solve the problem from the root, 80 chose an unconventional method. He didn't just fight as a giant, but also healed humanity from within. He assumed the human identity of Takeshi Yamato and became a junior high science teacher. 80's goal was to lead humanity's future in the right direction, teaching children about courage, kindness, and hope, thereby depleting the source of negative energy right in the next generations. However, this was also the major minus point of the series. Similar to the sudden departure of Yuko Minami and Ultraman Ace, Ultraman 80 underwent a major production change. In the second half of the show, the teacher aspect and school elements, which were the soul of the story, were almost completely removed. Takeshi Yamato left the school and joined the defense team UGM full-time, turning the series back to the familiar beaten path. The movie became a two-flavor hot pot, where the two phases of the movie were too different. In terms of combat, when no longer standing on the podium, Ultraman 80 is 50 meters tall and weighs 44,000 tons. His design returns to the classic style, but has more unique details like the large G buckle on the waist and a very prominent mohawk or fin structure on the head. Takeshi Yamato transforms into 80 using the Bright Stick device, returning to the original motif of raising it into the air to summon the Ultra entity. His fighting style is described as focusing on speed and agility, and this is probably a reference to Leo's space martial arts. His finishing move is the Saxium Beam, also exactly the same L-shaped hand pose as 7.
9. Ultraman Great and Powered International Phase. Moving to 1990, Tsuburaya collaborated with Australia to produce Ultraman Towards the Future. The first Ultraman series produced entirely in English, and the main character this time is Ultraman Great, still coming from M78. Great didn't come to Earth to fight ordinary monsters. He was on a journey chasing Gudis, an evil entity in the form of a cosmic virus. Gudis easily infects living organisms across the universe and turns them into Kaiju. This pursuit brought Great to Mars, and this was also where his destiny became linked with Earth. Right on Mars, Jack Shindo, a member of the organization UMA, Universal Multi-Purpose Agency, got caught up in the battle between Great and Gudis. To save Shindo's life, Great merged with him, using the Delta Plasma Pendant as a transformation device and bringing him back to Earth. What makes the difference for Great is the tone of the series. It's serious, slow, and heavily carries an environmental theme. Gudis is implied to be the embodiment, the direct consequence of the pollution that humans themselves have caused to their planet. Because of inserting too many humanistic values too directly, the content of Ultraman Towards the Future was not highly rated. Regarding design, Great looks somewhat like a remake of Ultraman Jack. Great is up to 60 meters tall, weighs 58,000 tons, and was one of the largest Ultramen at the time. His design stands out with a triangular color timer as a highlight. Great's fighting style has no specific characteristics. Still the same old physical blows and beams. Overall, this guy flopped. Domestic Japanese audiences hardly even watched this part.
If Ultraman Great tried to tell a new story about an environmental virus, then Ultraman Powered is basically a remake of the 1966 original, once again, but dressed in the color of 90s Hollywood film. Powered's origin is identical to Ultraman. He also comes from M78, and the reason he came to Earth is because he was chasing his nemesis, Alien Baltan. His host is Kenichi Kai, a member of the defense team Winner, Worldwide Investigation Network Response. An interesting fact is that the person playing Kai is Kane Kosugi,
the son of ninja legend Sho Kosugi and also an action star. Being a remake, Powered Strength is also an upgraded version of the original with a finishing move called the Mega Spacium Beam. The goal of the series was to bring Ultraman to Western audiences. Visually, this series emphasizes realism, but I don't understand what kind of realism it is when fighting scenes that used to have sparks and smoke in Japan turned into mechanical scenes indiscriminately spamming slow motion in the US. Although both internationalization efforts, Great and Powered, did not achieve the explosive success expected, these two guys still got cameos in later movies of the Ultraman line in Japan.
10. Ultraman Tiga, 1996. If Kamen Rider has Decade, Sentai has Gokaiger, then Ultraman has Tiga. After a long 16-year hiatus since Ultraman 80, Tsuburaya decided to reboot the entire universe in 1996, a decision that must be called a gamble when Tsuburaya temporarily paused the entire Ultraman universe that had existed for 30 years to build a parallel universe, changing the entire origin of the Ultra race, specifically Tiga. He is not an alien from 78. Tiga is a form of ancient giant god that has existed for a very long time from an extraterrestrial civilization that came to Earth and stayed here. Originally, Tiga was a dark giant, but with more rights than just a citizen. He was the leader of an ultra dark giant gang and the strongest ultra. But Tiga fell in love with a woman belonging to the ancient human civilization, Yuzare. Because of this love, he decided to betray his dark teammates, absorb their powers, seal them away, and turn himself into a warrior of light. This dark past gave birth to a revolutionary gimmick mechanism that defined every modern Ultraman thereafter: type change. Tiga was the first Ultra to have more than one form, with multi-type being the Valence form, Power type being the form focused on physical physique, and finally Sky type, the speed form. After the ancient civilization self-destructed, Tiga left his physical body as a stone statue in something like a pyramid, waiting for 30 million years. Until 1996, the statue was awakened by Daigo Madoka, a member of the Guts team. He carried within him the DNA of ancient people, allowing him to synchronize with Tiga using the Spark Lens device. And the correlation between humans and Ultra also developed from here. In Daigo's case, he easily controlled Tiga's full power at will. Tiga's story is about redemption from darkness to light and the power of hope. The climax was when Tiga was defeated by the final boss, Gada Nothor, and turned back into stone. It was the light of hope from children all over the world that revived him into the ultimate form, Glitter Tiga, possessing double the power and stats of the multi-type. And as I said above, Tiga is a huge monument in the movie line for many reasons. First is the investment in the plot. Second is the power structure is much better than the predecessors. And finally, a bit of luck. Tiga debuted at the peak time for Toku movie lines, so even if you guys don't know who Tiga is, I'm sure you guys have seen Tiga's image at least once.
11. Ultraman Dyna, 1997. The series is set 7 years after the ending of Tiga in the Neo-Frontier era. At this time, humanity has advanced far and is in the process of terraforming Mars. But right at this moment, a mysterious alien race called Sphere begins to attack. And the chosen one this time has a personality completely different from the calm Daigo. Shin Asuka, a cheerful, slightly arrogant, and extremely reckless rookie of the Super Guts team, the juniors of the Guts group in Tiga. During a training flight, Asuka encountered a mysterious bright light in space and merged with it. He transforms using the Reflasher and Ultraman Dyna appears. Since it is a continuation of Tiga, Dyna's power design still keeps the type change mechanism with 3 forms. Flash type is the balanced red-blue-silver form, similar to multi-type using the ultimate move Solgent Beam. Strong type is the full-body red strength form, specializing in close combat and pure physical strength. Miracle type is the full-body blue psychic superpower form, specializing in light speed, psychic techniques, and especially the ability to create small black holes to neutralize enemies. In the final battle against Grand Sphere, Dyna, or Asuka, made a sacrificial decision. He flew straight into a space-time black hole created by Grand Sphere to save Earth. Dyna became lost in different dimensions of the multiverse. This is the detail that helps Dyna connect with the universe of the original Land of Light M78.
12. Ultraman Gaia, 1998. What if Earth created an Ultra itself to protect itself? The answer is Ultraman Gaia, who first appeared in the movie of the same name in 1998. Although Gaia's universe is shared with Tiga and Dyna, in terms of origin, Gaia is the physical embodiment of Earth's will. He was born from this very planet with a single purpose: to protect it from a mysterious cosmic entity called the Radical Destruction Bringer. This time, the light didn't seek out a pilot or a brave defense team member like the old motif. Gaia's host is Gamu Takayama, a genius scientist only 20 years old, a member of Alchemy Stars, a network of the world's elite young scientists. Gamu found Gaia himself and successfully connected with Earth's guardian Ultra. When merged, Gaia bears an extremely powerful design, predominantly red and silver, but standing out with gold and black chest armor details. A small fact is that Gaia's mask was rehashed from the rough Type B mask of the 1966 Ultraman. Gaia's power is mid-tier. Compared to the two gods introduced before, Gaia is simply Daddy, the boss. Gaia's iconic attack is the Photon Edge, a semicircular energy sword launched from the head looking like an extremely powerful light scythe. Throughout the series, after receiving power from his rival, Gaia can upgrade to V2 status and Supreme version, the ultimate form, and this is the core philosophy of the entire series. Gaia, through Gamu, carries a fierce belief. His mission is to protect Earth and humanity. It was this seemingly simple belief that put him in direct confrontation not only with monsters, but also a confrontation of viewpoints with the series' second Ultra, Ultraman Agu. This blue guy's concept is just protecting Earth. Humans can exist or not, whatever. In general, Gaia's journey is quite easy to digest, chill enough, and the motif of taking Earth as the core power is quite good.
Number 13. Ultraman Cosmos, 2001. Next up in 2001, we meet one of the gentlest Ultraman in history, Ultraman Cosmos. Cosmos' core message sounds quite like a beauty queen pageant. I didn't come here to kill, I came here to heal. The entire Ultraman Cosmos series is built on pacifism. The main enemy is not evil monsters, but an entity named Chaos Header. Basically, Chaos Header is a cosmic virus that infects Kaiju, corrupts them, and turns them aggressive. Therefore, if Cosmos simply uses a spacium beam to destroy the monster, he's actually killing a victim. And Cosmos says, hell no, he has to cure them. This is also why his design and power are so soothing to the eyes. Cosmos' default form, Luna Mode, has blue as the dominant color, symbolizing the serenity and gentleness of the moon. Instead of attacks, Luna Mode uses skills like the Full Moon Rect to soothe the rage of monsters, purify the Chaos Header from their bodies, and return them to a normal state. Of course, saying that doesn't mean Cosmos is weak. When facing unsalvageable enemies, he can switch to a stronger combat form like Corona Mode to slap the crap out of stubborn Kaiju as usual. To convey this philosophy, the human host, Musashi Haruno, is also a special person. Cosmos and Musashi actually met when Musashi was a child. The two made a promise to protect peaceful coexistence together. Years later, when Musashi joined the Eyes team, Cosmos returned and merged with him. Culturally, Cosmos was a deliberate move by Tsuburaya in the face of the increasing violence among Japanese youth at that time. They wanted to create a gentle Ultraman who challenges the stereotype that victory means destruction. And this message was a huge success, helping Cosmos become the Ultraman series with the longest number of episodes in the entire franchise, with 65 episodes.
14. Ultraman Nexus, 2004. If Cosmos was an experiment in altruism, then Nexus was an experiment in the limits of psychological stress for Ultraman viewers. This was the first series produced with a clear orientation for mature audiences. The atmosphere is gloomy, the psychological themes are heavy, and the space beast monsters are designed to cause genuine fear. Throughout the movie, the name Ultraman is almost never mentioned. The characters only call him the mysterious giant of light. So who is this giant? This is the most complex part. Nexus is not his true form. He is just a weakened form of an ancient ultimate entity named Ultraman Noah, a silver Ultra Warrior god. And if you don't know what a silver Ultraman means, it's a form of power definition for Ultras. Red leans towards combat, blue leans towards intelligence, and a silver Ultra means omnipotence. While chasing an enemy to Earth, Noah was severely weakened, first becoming Ultraman the Next in the movie Ultraman the Next, and then Nexus in Ultraman Nexus. Being too weak, Nexus cannot exist alone. He needs to find human hosts called Dunamists, inheritors of light. Up to 3 Dunamists appeared, starting from Jun Himeya, a former war journalist haunted by psychological trauma, to Ren Senju, a boy created in a lab racing against his own lifespan, to the final Dunamist, Kazuki Komon. Unlike traditional Ultras like Tiga or Dyna, who have a smooth appearance, Nexus looks like he is wearing bioarmor. This guy's design has layers, veins, and crevices reminiscent of the exoskeleton of insects or crustaceans. Nexus has evolved forms called Jonius. Anfon's, the basic form, is the default all-silver form looking quite rough and unfinished. As the Jonius hosts get stronger, Nexus unlocks the most famous combat forms like Jonius Blue. In this form, he has more armor, is more VIP, and stronger. And in the final episode, when Komon became the last Dunamist and inherited the entire legacy of those before him, only then did he utter the name Ultraman Nexus. This motif seemed like a tribute to Jack, but actually the story of the original Ultraman Noah is freaking long, so I will only tell about what Nexus has. Otherwise, this series summary script is going to explode.
15. Ultraman Max, 2005. After a series too complex like Nexus, Tsuburaya needed to reshape Ultraman for children. And so, Ultraman Max was born with a storyline that reduced the ambition. Still, the stories of fighting monsters every episode accompanied that restoring the origin from planet M78. This U-turn philosophy is most clearly shown right from the design. Max is a return to classic design with a vibe from the Showa Ultras. He bears distinct features, from the Ultra Slugger on his head to the characteristic protector chest armor. His origin also returns to the familiar home of M78. Max is a warrior from the Land of Light, initially sent to Earth just to observe human civilization, but eventually stayed to protect it. This classicism continues with him choosing a human host, Kaito Toma. Kaito is a member of the defense team Dash, a model hero who sacrificed himself to save a child. And that brave act attracted Max's attention, leading to their merger, exactly like the old identity selection format of Ultraman 1966. To fit the return of an omnipotent hero, Max was promoted with incredible power, claimed to be the fastest and strongest in his universe up to that point. The identity Kaito uses the Max Spark to transform, and possesses the Max Galaxy weapon, a piece of gear given by Ultraman Xenon to reinforce his position as a reliable protector, closing the dark experimental era of Nexus and bringing the franchise back to pure light.
16. Ultraman Mebius, 2006. After the success of bringing original formulas back with Ultraman Max, in 2006, Tsuburaya celebrated 40 years of Ultraman, and they chose the direction of pleasing veteran fans who grew up with the Showa era. The result was Ultraman Mebius being born. Unlike mighty seniors like Tiga or Gaia, Mebius is introduced as a young, inexperienced rookie from M78. He was entrusted by the Father of Ultra himself with his first mission to protect Earth and was granted the Mebius Brace as a weapon and transformation device. When Mebius was on his way to Earth, he witnessed the brave sacrifice of Hiroto Ban, a young crew member who sacrificed himself to save his ship. Moved and respecting that courage, Mebius created a human form named Mirai Hibino based on Hiroto's image to honor him. Mirai joins the defense team Guys, Guards for Utility Situation, and this is where Mebius' story begins. The most important role placed on the shoulders of this rookie is continuing the era. Mebius takes place in the same universe as 1966, 7, Jack, Ace, and Taro. After more than 25 years, Ultraman finally returned to its true origin. Mebius is also the student of the legendary Ultra Brothers, people who are secretly living on Earth under their familiar human guises: Hayata, Dan Moriboshi, Hideki Go, and Seiji Hokuto. They observe, test, and train Mebius, passing on the torch of 40 years of legacy. In terms of design, Mebius is a perfect balance. He has the classic color timer, but has the modern Mebius brace on his wrist. His final move is the Mebium Shoot, a variation of the Spacium Beam pose. And in the peak moment, usually in the movie, when Mebius combines his power with all 6 Ultra Brothers, Zophie, Man, 7, Jack, Ace, and Taro, he achieved the ultimate form, Mebius Infinity, symbolizing the unity of 40 years of history.
17. Ultraseven X, 2007. Just having done a U-turn merging universes, linking things up, Tsuburaya said, "Screw it, I have to try another universe series to be satisfied." Along with that crazy idea, Ultraseven was also the victim implicated when he became the chosen one to reboot Seven's plot in another universe. Thus, Ultraseven X was born. Tsuburaya intended to test this as a movie broadcast as a late-night series. Its broadcast time when released was around 2 a.m. in Japan. Because of that, Ultraseven X abandoned the traditional bright setting to switch to a parallel world with a dark detective and sci-fi color, where humanity lives in a peaceful society but is actually secretly controlled by an alien force. In this return, Ultraseven X's design is a modern upgrade. The lines on the body are sharpened, creating a muscular and powerful feeling. The red color on the armor was changed to a darker red, increasing the dark and mysterious look instead of the classic heroic red. Even the iconic Eye Slugger weapon was adjusted to look significantly sharper, basically increasing the image render compared to the 1967 version, but still respecting the original design. Corresponding to that design is a more realistic fighting style. Ultraseven X possesses quite broken power, and naturally, all moves are similar to Ultra 7. But the battles in this movie are somewhat faster, flashier, to increase realism and invest more in the story aspect. The transformation device is still the trendy Ultra Eye glasses. The identity of Ultraseven X in this world is Jin, an agent carrying out a mission to hunt down the alien organization, pulling the strings manipulating Earth. However, later on we are revealed that the power of Ultraseven X is actually the original Ultra 7, Dan Moriboshi. After completing the mission, he separated and returned to his Showa universe, returning to the form of Dan Moriboshi and reuniting with old teammate Anne. This is also Tsuburaya's implicit confirmation that this movie has nothing to do with the original universe later on.
18. Ultraman Zero, 2009. Next is the appearance of one of the most important Ultras in the history of the Land of Light, Ultraman Zero, playing the role of the central bridge connecting all three generations, Showa, Heisei, and New Generation. Later on, this Granddaddy Zero was also the main character of a pile of movies and miniseries in the period from 2008 to 2012. Especially Tsuburaya in this period also focused on developing the story through movie formats rather than releasing any new series. Zero is the son of Brother 7, Ultraman 7. Zero possesses natural talent, but when young was extremely arrogant and hot-tempered. Craving power, he tried to touch the plasma spark, a taboo act that almost repeated the disaster of his uncle, Ultraman Belial. His father stopped him and handed him over to Ultraman Leo for harsh training on planet K-76. It was during the time of exile and being restrained by the Tector gear that Zero learned the true meaning of being a warrior, and also because of the same starting goal of desiring the plasma spark, Zero was destined to become the natural enemy of Belial. Zero's design is a modern, sharp upgrade from his father. He uses a combination of three main colors, red, blue, and silver. The clearest detail inherited from 7 is the possession of 2 Zero sluggers on his head. They are not just throwing weapons, but can also be used as daggers or combined into the Zero twin shoot. He also possesses angular chest armor and a standard color timer like Heisei warriors. But I mentioned Zero having a part mixed with red, unlike his father, partly expressing the more emotional reason of Ultraman. Regarding fighting style, Zero is a comprehensive warrior thanks to the training of martial arts master Ultraman Leo. He's extremely flexible, agile, and often uses high-speed space martial arts attacks. He possesses many powerful finishing moves, and finally inherits the legendary raise hand to the board shot from his dad. Zero's role goes beyond just protecting the Land of Light. He's the founder and leader of Ultimate Force Zero, a multiverse hero group, including Dyna, which means Zero is the official bridge of the entire Ultraman movie line from then until now. His most iconic power is the Ultimate Aegis, the Shield of Barati, a gift from Ultraman Noah. This armor allows him to transform into Ultimate Zero, granting him the ability to travel between dimensions. Zero also possesses many different transformation forms by absorbing power from seniors. Strong Corona Zero, red, specializes in physical strength, while Luna Miracle Zero, blue, focuses on supernatural speed and spirit power. This guy also has a few other forms like Shining Ultraman Zero, Ultraman Zero Beyond. Basically being the golden child, he has a lot of toys. Regarding identity, in his main movie parts, Zero has his own independent plotline, so he's not much related to humans. But he also has 2 human identities in appearances in junior movies, Ultraman Taiga, Ultraman Saga 2012, and Laito Igaguri, Ultraman Geed 2017. The main transformation device is also like Master 7. Zero will give the identity a pair of Ultra Zero Eye glasses.
19. Ultraman Ginga and Ginga S, Victory, 2013 to 2014. Next, opening the bowl, kicking off for the New Generations era of Ultras, Ultraman Ginga aired in 2013. This is a pioneering series bringing a completely different setting, power mechanism, and design compared to traditional warriors. To understand more about Ginga, I will outline this guy's world context. The time takes place a few years after the events of Zero.
The context of Ultraman Ginga begins with a catastrophic event called Dark Spark. In this battle, a mysterious force calling itself Dark Lugiel used the Dark Spark weapon to turn all Ultramen, monsters, and aliens participating in that battle into dolls called Spark Dolls, then scattered them down to Earth. Years later, Hikaru Raidou, a human youth returning to his hometown, was led by destiny to find the Ginga Spark, the key to releasing the power sealed in the Spark Dolls. This guy is also the master of Ultraman Ginga's power. Ultraman Ginga's design is a complete makeover from Tsuburaya. His entire body is covered by transparent plasma crystals, not the standard plain color armor. Most notably in the basic form, Ginga does not have a color timer on his chest, but replaces it with a large crystal to release power from the Spark Dolls. These crystals glow blue in the normal state and can change to other colors like red or purple when he uses energy. This is the biggest change regarding the connection between the identity and Ultraman in later generations. Instead of summoning, they will materialize power from items carrying the subconscious of Ultraman. Regarding power, Ultraman Ginga uses attacks like the Ginga Cross Shoot and Ginga Saber. His biggest strength is the ability to copy the power of seniors, even Kaiju through Spark Dolls. In the next series, Ultraman Ginga S, Ginga received a major upgrade, the Ultraman Taro given Stry Embrace. It allows him to transform into Ultraman Ginga Strium with chest and shoulder armor exactly like Ultraman Taro, and importantly, Ginga Strium has a standard color timer. In this form, Ginga can use the legendary power of the Ultra Brothers and perform the Cosmo Miracle Shoot. Ultraman Ginga is a revolutionary character, futuristic and groundbreaking in both design style and how Tsuburaya builds power for these later rookies. Next we have the unluckiest young man in the world, Ultraman Victory. If you want to know why he's unlucky, look at the movie title for me. It's clearly Ginga S, not Victory S. Putting that aside, this youth appeared in Ultraman Ginga S as a main of this series, accompanying Ginga continuing the journey to find Spark Dolls and protect Earth. Unlike Ginga, who carries the power of a mysterious entity from the future, Ultraman Victory carries an origin as an ancient protector closely linked to Earth. He is the guardian god of the Victorian race, an ancient human civilization that hid underground to protect a huge energy source called Victorium. When the story begins, Victory is its host. Sho initially viewed the Ginga guy as an enemy because he thought Ginga and surface humans were seeking to steal Victorium. Sho, as an elite warrior of the Victorian race, is a youth with a quite hot head, but luckily inherited the power of Ultraman Victory. Victory's design is completely opposite to Ginga. If Ginga is a crystal person, Victory has a more rustic and simple look. He uses black as the main color with gold accents. Large V-shaped crystals on the head and chest symbolize both victory and Victorium. This overall design brings a powerful, solid, and somewhat rougher feeling than Ginga. Victory's power mechanism revolves around the transformation tool Victory Lancer, a multi-purpose item shaped like a gun combined with a dagger. To transform, Sho activates the Lancer, allowing Victorium energy to merge him with the entity Ultraman Victory. However, Victory's most unique power is the Ultratrans. He uses the power of Kaiju Spark Dolls and borrows body parts carrying the characteristics of the Kaiju Spark Dolls that Victory is using. Like Ginga, Victory has an upgraded form called Ultraman Victory Knight via the Knight Timber given by Ultraman Hikari. This form equips him with silver blue armor and a flute sword. From a hot-tempered rival, Ultraman Victory learned to trust and cooperate with Ginga, and the result of that is the ability to fuse into Ultraman Ginga Victory.
20. Ultraman X, 2015. Next, we have Ultraman X, the main character of the 2015 series, with a cyberpunk vibe, a warrior combining traditional ultra power with digital technology. The context of X takes place after a catastrophic event called the Ultra Flare, an energy explosion that swept through the solar system, turning many kaiju into spark dolls, including X. The explosion destroyed X's physical body, turning him into a form of data stored in the X divisor. This divisor then fell to Earth and was found by Daichi Osara, a young scientist specializing in kaiju research and a member of the defense team Zeo. This is a rare movie series in the new gen era that develops the relationship between the Ultra and his identity. Both often talk to each other through the X divisor like partners. X's transformation mechanism is Daichi using the X divisor and the Ultraman X Spark Doll. Ultraman X's special power is the ability to use cyber cards and the Mons armor mechanism. Basically, the X divisor will analyze the data of the kaiju in the card and convert it into armor bearing equivalent power. X can use cyber cards of senior ultras to equip special armor like Ultimate Zero.
X's ultimate form is Exceed X, achieved when Naichi and X completely assimilate and receive the X Slugger, a sword-type weapon.
21. Ultraman Orb, 2016. Next is the series that I rate as the most famous in the new generation phase. Ultraman Orb is also the series celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Ultraman franchise. As for the reason, it seems like after that it took Tsuburaya a very long time to find a hero motif like Orb again. And regarding the completeness of the story, I feel Orb is much easier to watch and stays with you longer than those previous guys. Unlike Ginga or X needing human partners to transform, Gai Kurenai is an identity created by Orb. Similar to Seven's old motif from very long ago, fighting on Earth for the first time, Orb couldn't completely control his power, leading to killing Natasha, a person Orb wished to protect. This psychological trauma caused Guy to self-seal his true power because he felt unworthy of it. He became a wanderer, drifting everywhere with the harmonica and looking for another power to fight. Because he lost his own power, Guy has to borrow the power of senior Ultras. He uses the Orb Ring and Ultra Fusion cards containing the power of predecessors, and Orb officially became the first Ultra to use the fusion of two senior Ultras as the main transformation mechanism. I think probably because this cool mechanism also made fans pay attention to this movie more. Honestly, there was a time I quit Ultraman but watched again because of this form combination business. Each fusion form of Orb will have a separate function. For example, Spacium Zepperion, Ultraman 1966 plus Tiga, is the balanced form. Burnmite, Taro plus Mebius is firepower, and Hurricane Slash, Jack plus Zero is the speed form. However, the most important form story-wise is Thunder Breastar, Zoffy plus Belial. Because of using the power of two Ultramen with the strongest base forms, this is also Orb's strongest form, and this form is even an out-of-control form. The climax of the series is when Gai Kurenai finally faces his past, accepts failure, and forgives himself. With new belief, he released the seal on his true power, returning to the form Ultraman Orb Origin, transforming with the Holy Sword Orb Caliber. In summary, Ultraman Orb is one of the best-built characters of the new generation. He is a classically vibed Ultra in a modern setting. Gai Kurenai's journey from a fallen hero haunted by failure to learning to accept both light and darkness to finally find his own light created the ideal attraction of the hero movie genre.
22. Ultraman Geed 2017. Next will be the debut of the most terrifying devil's child in the universe, Ultraman Geed. The central character is Riku Azakura, an orphan teenager with a cheerful, slightly naive personality, and is the artificial son of Ultraman Belial. Everything was normal until his hometown was attacked, and he was led to a secret base where he received the Geed Riser and Ultra Capsules, birthing the power of Ultraman Geed. Regarding power, Geed still keeps the label of combining the power of previous Ultras. Probably because the money-sucking demon Bandai sucked quite a bit, so they kept this mechanism. This is exactly like Orb, nothing special, so I will skip over it. Regarding design, Geed's base form is created from the capsules of Ultraman, Light, and Belial, Darkness, symbolizing the combination of the first ray of light and the greatest evil in the history of the universe. The strongest form is when he receives the power of Ultraman King, allowing him to transform into Royal Megamaster form, the combination of Belial and King. Although having a quite interesting background accompanied by the return of Zero, looking at the overall success, Geed somewhat missed a beat compared to the too large shadow of Orb's success.
23. Ultraman RB, 2018. Next is Ultraman RB, Red, Blue, a highly experimental series by Tsuburaya, completely changing the formula in the new generation's lineup. Instead of keeping the motif of a single hero with a tragic past like Orb or Geed, RB focuses on the family psychology genre and is also the first time in franchise history to have up to two main Ultras in the same series, Ultraman Blue and Ultraman Rosso. The center of the series is the Minato family. We have Katsumi Minato, the identity of Ultraman Rosso, the responsible eldest brother, always worried and gave up his baseball dream to shoulder the family fashion store, and Isami Minato, the identity of Ultraman Blue, Katsumi's younger brother. He's a space physics genius, but this guy has a slightly impulsive personality.
The entire story of Ultraman RB will revolve around the maturation journey of these two brothers on the path to finding their missing mother. As for the origin of power, it's just the story of accidentally stumbling upon good loot like the previous generation Ultras. To transform, Katsumi and Isami use the RB gyro device using the power crystals of senior fathers. Ultraman Rosso uses the Taro crystal to don the power of fire. Meanwhile, Ultraman Blue uses Ginga's crystal to don the power of water. Throughout the series, they can collect other elemental crystals like Wind from Tiga and Earth from Victory. Later, the two brothers can fuse together to form the ultimate warrior form, Ultraman Rube.
24. Ultraman Taiga, 2019. The Ultra Warrior opening the Reiwa era is Ultraman Taiga, still with the formula for a rich kid Nepo Gaby appearing after the movie line had a flopping situation. The character this time is Taiga, the son of Ultraman Taro and the grandson of Father of Ultra. The journey of the movie is the young Master Taiga on a journey to make everyone recognize his power, not just as a guy benefiting from his father's and grandfather's reputation. Spoiler, this guy's power is actually self-attained. The story begins when Taiga, along with two companions, Titus and Fuma, formed the Tri-Squad. In a battle, all three were defeated by the enemy Ultraman Trigger and turned into light particles. These light particles traveled to Earth and merged with Hiroyuki Kudo, a kind-hearted member of the security organization EGIS, turning him into the host of all three Ultramen. Taiga's transformation mechanism involves Hiroyuki using the Taiga Spark and Ultraman Taiga accessories. With the slogan, "Buddy Go," Hiroyuki can easily switch flexibly between the powers of the three Ultra Warriors he holds. Taiga's power also develops through the journey of him learning to trust teammates and accept who he is. He achieves the form Taiga Photon Earth. And finally, when the bond of both the Tri-Squad and Hiroyuki reaches its peak, they can fuse into Ultraman Taiga Tristrium. This form is the merger of all four people using the weapon Taiga Triblade, symbolizing the power of magical friendship. In summary, Ultraman Taiga is a story with beautiful colors about the maturation journey of young warriors. In terms of story and the connection between Ultras and the identity Hiroyuki, it is also built more tightly than the seniors. Although somewhat consistently flopping, Ultraman Taiga is a set that I highly recommend you guys watch to learn about Ultraman in the Reiwa era.
25. Ultraman Z, 2020. Next is the Ultraman Z set, still retaining the bright color mixed with the nostalgic storytelling of Ultra Warriors. And yes, again, a guy claiming to be Zero's disciple. Damn, these guys just have to be involved with the famous guys to attract views. Back to the story start, Z, a young warrior from the Land of Light chasing the monster Ginga to Earth, got stranded. He has to merge with the human Haruki Natsukawa, a young pilot of the robot defense organization Storage. Haruki is a martial arts master, but just like Z, he is somewhat impulsive. Their merger creates a partnership relationship, and the movie rehashes the fusion power transformation mechanism. This time, it's Fusion Rise. Haruki uses the Z Riser and 3 Ultra Metals instead of 2 items like seniors in each transformation. By scanning the metals, he can fuse the power of 3 different senior Ultras. Each form of Z is a clear tribute to previous eras depending on their fighting style. For example, Z Alpha Edge fuses power from 0, 7, Leo, which is a form using space martial arts mainly. Z Beta Smash fuses from Ultraman, Ace, Taro, which is a form leaning towards warriors with superior physical stats. And Gamma Future, Tiga Dyna Gaia, is easily understood as honoring the legendary Heisei trio. Theoretically, there will be no limit to fusion, so yeah, if you want to admire more, find and watch the full thing. Also must add about Z's design being very subtle and harmonious in the stage of embedding Fenrir's suits in fusion forms. Z's form design can be considered the most beautiful in the Reiwa era so far. Ultraman Z's journey is a true journey of maturity from a student. This young brother step-by-step conquered the power sources of seniors in the most logical direction. At least this is a rare series reusing senior power that I dare affirm is not dirty buffed, cheaply overpowered.
26. Ultraman Trigger, 2021. Next, we have the endless spiral of running out of ideas from Tsuburaya, welcoming Ultraman Trigger, an Ultra created with the main purpose of celebrating 25 years since Tiga's debut. Honestly, don't understand why moving to Reiwa, Ultraman is flopping consistently. The story context is almost identical to Tiga, also starting from 30 million years ago. Ultraman Trigger was originally Trigger Dark, the strongest member of the Dark Giant trio, along with Carmiera, Dargon, and Hudrum. However, Trigger was persuaded by Yuzare to turn the car around.
changed sides. He betrayed his teammates, absorbed the light, sealed all three of them, and turned into a stone statue on Mars after blasting his power everywhere. 30 million years later, Kengo Manaka, a genius botanist, found Trigger's statue and woke him up. Kengo became Trigger's new identity. At the same time, the Dark Giants gang also woke up along with Trigger. Kengo and Trigger will have to defeat the Dark Giants gang together once again to protect Earth. Trigger's transformation mechanism is using the Guts Sparklins. This is a multi-purpose device that is both a weapon of the Guts Select team and can switch to Sparklins mode for transformation. To activate, Kengo uses Guts Hyperkey's USB-like items containing Ultra Power. Along with that, the mechanism of specific power forms also returns, with multi-type being balanced, power being physical strength, sky leaning towards speed, and additionally, the dirty buff stat form Glitter also returns. In summary, Ultraman Trigger is an 80% remake of Tiga. Even the feeling of watching isn't as good as the Tiga version, guys.
27. Ultraman Decker 2022. Ha! Guess what event was 25 years ago, counting from 2022? Exactly. After Tiga ended, those guys created an Ultra Warrior to pay tribute again. Holy cow! If I review now that it is exactly the same way Tsuburaya did with Trigger, then you guys have nothing to watch. Well, let's take a peek to see what Decker has. Ultraman Decker is a direct sequel to Ultraman Trigger, set many years after Trigger saved Earth, so that peace was broken by the invasion of Sphere, a mysterious alien swarm invading Earth. During Sphere's first invasion, a young man named Kanata rushed into danger to save people, and right at that moment, a mysterious streak of light merged with him, granting him the Ultra D-Flasher and Ultra Dimension cards to transform into Ultraman Decker. And still the familiar form change mechanism, including Flash type, Balanced form, Strong type Physical Strength form, and Miracle type Speed form using Spirit power. I mean, it's not much different from Dyna, so yeah, I beg to next this bad entry. Flop.
28. Ultraman Blazar 2023. Thank God Tsuburaya stopped paying tribute. Next, coming to a completely new story. Ultraman Blazar is a necessary reset to salvage the reputation after those two forgettable tribute series. Ultraman Blazar's story focuses on Gento Hiruma, a 30-year-old captain leading the Special Defense Team SKERD. In a mission, he merges with Ultraman Blazar, a mysterious light entity from Nebula M421. Unlike other Ultramen, Blazar is a primitive creature with wild instincts. The main conflict of the series is Gento, a disciplined soldier struggling to master Blazar's power to protect Earth against the Kaiju force. Blazar's design clearly shows the wildness the movie spirit brings. The most prominent point is asymmetry. The crystal fins on the head and shoulders tilt completely to one side, creating the feeling of a chaotically naturally evolved creature. His body has a charcoal gray background, covered by glowing blue and red energy veins. The crystals, including the color timer, look like they are from a biological body instead of being attached. Blazar's power explodes with a fighting style following primitive instincts. His main weapon is the Spiral Burade, a light spear. The energy inside him is very chaotic, frequently causing situations of losing control of power. To transform, Gento uses the Blazar Brace and Blazar Stone to summon the form of Ultra Blazar. In summary, Ultraman Blazar is a true breakthrough in the new generation's lineup. Personally, I feel although this set is not better than Tiga, considering the aspect that the producer was extremely stuck, Blazar is a significant improvement to salvage the reputation for the Ultraman movie line.
29. Ultraman Arc 2024. Ultraman Arc, one of the main Ultras with the most breakthrough ideas of the Reiwa era. After Ultraman Blazar returned to primitive instinct, Ultraman Arc is the symbol for perfect righteous power. The story is set in a world recovering after the Kaiju K-Day disaster. Yuma is an active young rookie of the organization Skip, possessing a very soaring mind, and it was Yuma's short-circuited head that awakened the Ultraman who had been sleeping for a long time. The design reflects clearly the pure theme of the series. Arc's base form is very neat, mainly silver with minimalist red and blue details. The color timer is shaped like an arc arch, symbolizing the bridge connecting imagination and reality. The transformation mechanism is Yuma using the Arc Ariser and Arc Cubes.
Yuma uses the Ariser to unlock the Arc Cube, summoning a light gate and transforming into Ultraman Arc. The power of Arc still keeps the familiar form change mechanism based on celestial and legendary concepts. He has the Soulless form, focusing on physical strength, Luna form, specializing in speed and magic, and finally the Ninja Kagachi form, the Galaxy Armor, the pinnacle of imagination. In summary, with this young man, imagination is power. Whichever guy flies the higher, the more broken he is. Well, if you're on rocks, actually, never mind.
30. Ultraman Omega, 2025. Finally on the list, we have the Ultra Warrior of this year, Ultraman Omega. Because the reason is that this series is still airing, I will just review quickly for you guys to get interested in watching. Still keeping the old motif as an Ultra Warrior accidentally lost on Earth while chasing an enemy, but the difference is that Omega has lost his memory. He takes the identity of Sorato Okita. Although the memory is gone, the fighting instinct is still good, so whenever he sees a monster, he just goes to fight. Throughout the movie is Sorato's journey to regain memories and Omega's task of destroying the Kaiju. Currently, the movie is being shown free on Tsuburaya's official YouTube channel. Regarding design, looking at it briefly, we will see it's ugly, but it hides quite a few tribute points. For example, the single horn of 7 or the chest armor somewhat similar to Zero and Tiga. But I think the most inspiration taken for Omega is Ultraman Zerth, an Ultra in Tsuburaya's advertisement miniseries in 1996. But unluckily, this guy isn't even recognized on Tsuburaya's current web. But the suit covered in red is the most easily noticeable thing. Omega transforms using the Omega Slugger, which is both a weapon and a transformation tool, and the Omega Meteor containing the Ultra Energy Core. Omega's special power mechanism is also reused from Victory. When he destroys Kaiju, he will receive Omega Meteors from them. Omega will use these goods to use Kaiju power. In general, the movie is preparing to reach the finale. The construction of depth for Ultraman in this part has improved quite clearly, but it is still an old wine in a new bottle story, without many breakthroughs. So I will let you guys digest it and then have your own reasonable evaluation for this warrior.
And that is the fastest review of all Ultras in the series, stretching from 1966 to now. After binge-watching quite a lot, I realized Japanese children love Ultraman in the Showa and early Heisei eras more for a reason. Truly, the breakthrough ideas and simple enough interpretation turned it into an ideal superhero movie line. But later on, in the most recent chapters, we can completely see the running out of brain power via old storytelling motifs and powers being constantly reused or even rebooted nearly 80% like Trigger or Decker. I'm not saying the quality of these two sets is bad, but it's nothing more than old wine in a new bottle. Besides that, simple, independent plot sets like Tiga, Blazar, or Orb easily bring many more positive signals. What do you guys think? Will Tsuburaya bring us something in the upcoming 60th anniversary? Comment below to let me know. And for now, remember to like, share, and hit the channel subscribe button, as well as click the notification bell next to it so you don't miss extremely good videos. Goodbye and see you again.